When Tanya said there was something missing between her and Ollie, I thought, it's obviously his personality. Stranded on Honeymoon Island UK episode 4, the couples were given the opportunity to flare out of the relationship and get the fuck out of there. Most of the couples were happy to continue, except Jordan and Millie and Maury and May. Jordan was actually such a nice guy. She hurt his feelings because she says that he wasn't her usual type and she wasn't really attracted to him. Now, okay, fair enough. I mean, over the past 20 years, I have hardly fancied a single person, other than celebrities, right? I hardly fancy anybody, so it's very understandable. So because I hardly fancy anybody, most of the people I've ended up going out with have been due to their personality, and then later on they ended up being cunts, so that didn't turn out too well. But Millie was the one saying, oh, Jordan is such a nice guy, so sweet, he's a great listener, positive, 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 positive. But she still decided to flare out. She wasted her own time, she wasted his time, she wasted the show's time, she wasted the show's money, she wasted the viewers' time. She didn't even give it a chance, just because she didn't want to rip his clothes off instantly. And you know what? I possibly would have seen her point if he'd have been absolutely fucking god-awful hideous. There's absolutely nothing up with him. I know we've all got different taste, but nobody can look at this guy and say, oh my god, he's vile. Do you know what I mean? So, like, what the fuck? It was just shallow as fuck. She absolutely applied for the wrong show. I hope this guy gets another chance on another dating show, because it just seems so lovely. But anyway, they're gone. Maury and May were also taking the flare into consideration, because he had previously told May that she was like his little sister and she looked like his cousin. Wow. Sexy. And at the time I was thinking, do you know what? I hope that she pulls the flare, because he is not expecting her to pull that flare. He just thinks, oh my god, she is obsessed with me, she's so in love with me, she's never going to pull the flare. And I actually thought he was going to pull it, but he decided to stay and give it a chance. I did say in the previous videos that he's an avoidant, but do you know what? At least he's trying. The couples are told they're going to do a couple swap for the day, and Helen's put with May. And when May got there, Helen is hyping her up to fuck. She's like, you're stunning, you're amazing. Like, why does Maury not find you attractive? He's an idiot. And then she says, oh, we'll do like a fake podcast, and she's interviewing her. And I know that a lot of people would find her behaviour annoying as fuck, but I just think she's fun. She's trying to make the best out of a bad situation. She's trying to be positive. She's having a laugh. She's got no entertainment. So she's like, do you know what? I'm the fucking entertainment. I feel like she really helped me, made her feel better about herself, and it was great. But then when May was talking to her about Abby, she says Abby, she's a bit of a lad, like the way she talks about hooking up with girls and stuff like that, it's a bit immature, and I was like, I get you. And considering Abby's the one who's acting so laddish, but she's the one who's moaning about the bugs and doing all the moaning, it's a bit strange. Abby was paired up with Oliver, and he said something like, welcome to the shag pad. Oh my fucking god. Earlier in that episode, Oliver and Tanya had spoke about being intimate in the morning, and she had told him, like, when she goes with somebody she can get quite attached and all that. And after they went with each other, he turned around and says to her, now don't be falling in love with me. Knowing fine well that she already had these insecurities. So he was telling Abby about it, and he says, oh, I didn't think it was that bad. So you thought it was bad, but you just didn't think it was that bad? Fucking idiot. Lad mentality, I cannot fucking stand it. It was probably the producers that told them to do it, but they were doing like these arm press things on a log. And I was just like, fuck off. Genuinely though, I think that was probably production just being like, oh, act laddish for the camera. Well, I hope that was the case. Hannah was with Maury, and she was saying, look, you're not saying the right things to me. You don't say to a woman that she reminds you of your sister that she looks like your cousin. You're not making her feel beautiful, you're not complimenting her, you're like taking all her confidence away. And I don't think that she was too harsh about it, and he actually kind of took it quite well. Then, before she left, he says, right, I'm going to do something nice. I'm going to make her dinner. Obviously, production were going to pair David up with Tanya, because originally she was the one who he wanted to marry. The two of them were getting on swimmingly, and she says, oh, like, I really feel comfortable with you, like it's really different with Oliver, like I feel more relaxed with you. And okay, she was being slightly flirty, but he was not flirting back. He was being very professional, very respectful. And I was with Sam, and they were talking about intimacy, and Anna says, oh, we haven't been intimate because the two of us have got the same beliefs and like about celibacy and stuff. And I was very confused, because David had said before that he used to be like a bit of a lad and just go with loads of people, and she has expressed that she's obviously done things before. So I don't really know, is it like celibacy until you're actually married, or celibacy until you're going out, or like I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but basically they haven't done anything yet. When Abby came home to Helen, they were having a chat about her being a lad, and Helen was saying, I don't really like the way you talk about hooking up with girls, and it's like really laddie and it's quite immature. She was pissed off, but I totally get where she's coming from. And she says, oh, it's like talking to a 25-year-old lad, and she was just like, fuck this. But when they were having this conversation, Abby was basically saying that she doesn't know if she's properly attracted to Helen because they haven't kissed and they haven't had sex, and that's how you find out if like you're really into somebody. That's really not the case for me. I've fancied people in the past when I used to fancy people, and I've been like, oh my god, I really want to go with that person. Okay, maybe I've went with them and then I've changed my mind, but you can know if you're attracted to somebody before you go with them, so what she's saying doesn't make any sense. David told Anna that he was visited by Tanya, and obviously Anna's a bit like, what the fuck? But David said, no, don't worry about it, now I know that God has put us together. And what he actually says was, I didn't get what I thought I wanted, or I didn't get what I wanted, I got what I needed. And she was happy with that statement, but Ada says you didn't get what you wanted. I know it's been pedantic, but I just didn't really like the wording in it, but you know, he wasn't meaning anything nasty by it, it was just I didn't really like the wording. Maury made dinner for me, and then he put his kilt on for her, and she's like, swoon, oh my god, he's so beautiful. When Tanya came back to Oliver, she wasn't too happy, because at this point she's thinking David's obviously more emotionally mature and stuff. What I didn't find fair is that when she was talking to Oliver, and she was talking about him being affectionate and stuff, not everybody's love language is physical touch. I dated somebody for years whose love language wasn't physical touch, and mine's is, but they constantly, like, it was like acts of service, gift giving, and it's hard to do something like that when you're stuck on an island. Maybe if she was with him outside the island, she would see how he shows interest in her, do you know what I mean? But it was a bit unfair, because not everybody likes to just hold hands and kiss and cuddle all the time. Trust me, I know. Hannah and Sam are getting on great. He says, oh, did you miss me? And she says, oh, honestly, I didn't miss you, but I'm happy to be back. But she was just meaning, like, I've been single for years, I'm used to having time on my own, but I'm glad to be here, so at least things are going well. Unstranded on Honeymoon Island, Australia, they could only get washed, like, for water coming out a bucket, and they didn't have shower gel or soap or anything, they didn't get brushes or anything until really later on. So when they had sex in that, I was like, they've not washed. But correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that they got shower gel and stuff in their wee bag at the start. Because, I mean, you just wouldn't want to go near that, be hoaching. I'm halfway through episode 5, so I'll be back with that. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and I'll see you soon. Bye!